Hello to all my story lovers. Today's our story name is When Yama Called. This is a story taken from Grandma's Bag of Stories and written by Sudha Murty. Let's go through the story. Many years ago, there lived a little town, a man named Arun. He was a merchant, and though not very rich, he lived comfortably enough. He had a large family of brothers, sisters, wife, and children. He looked after them well, and in whatever way he could, he also helped out the poor people in the town. He built rest houses for travelers, and in these there were dining halls where anyone could come and have a good, wholesome meal for very little money. One day, while returning home from work, he happened to pass by one such rest house. It had a veranda where people stopped and rested. Sitting there, looking tired and hungry, was a stranger. He was a tall man. His clothes were travel stained and showed that he had craved for afar. With him was his horse, looking as tired and hungry as its master. Seeing them, Arun, kind-hearted, melted. He went up to speak to the man. Where have you come from, my brother? He asked. Why don't you step inside for a hot meal and some rest? The man looked up and gave a smile and said, the rest house is very popular. There is no room for me, and the dining hall is full too. I will wait here for a while, then be on my way. I am sure I will find another place to serve me some food down the road. Arun would not hear of this. The thought that someone was going away without food and rest was too much for him. He insisted on the man coming back to his house with him. There he invited the traveler to share a meal with his family. The man was served lovingly and ate his fill. While he sat eating, the man noticed that Arun was sometimes a bit absent minded. It was as if something was in his mind, and he was worried. Once they had finished eating and had washed up, the traveler rose to leave. He thanked Arun for his kindness, then said, if you don't mind me asking, sir, I could not help but notice that you were a bit worried. I know I am a stranger to you, but perhaps it would help lighten your burden if you shared your worries with me. But Arun only smiled and shook his head. He did not want to share his thoughts with the stranger. Then the man said, perhaps if I show you who I really am, you will confide in me. And in a trice, the man changed. He was no longer a tired traveler, but a god, resplendent in shimmering clothes with a crown on his head. His horse changed into a buffalo, and the man introduced himself. I am Yama, the Lord of Death. Now will you tell me what's wrong? Seeing this, Arun nearly fainted. The Lord of Death had just shared a meal with him. What are you doing on earth, my lord? He gasped. Yama smiled and said, oh, I like coming here once in a while and seeing what everyone is doing. So what's bothering you? Arun replied, you see, I need to grow my business more. But today I was not feeling very well. If anything happened to me, who would look after my large family? Yama nodded seriously. Don't worry, child, he comforted. I have seen what hardworking, kind hearted person you are. You invited me home and let me have a meal with you, knowing me only to be a tired and weary traveler. I will do one thing. When it is time for you to leave the earth and come with me, like all the living things have to do one day, I will not come all of a sudden. I will let you know many days in advance so you can prepare yourself and your affairs for the time you have to go away with me. Arun bowed to the Lord in gratitude when he heard this, and Yama vanished. Years went by. Arun became an old man. His business had grown many times over. His children and brothers and sisters were all well looked after. He had few worries left. One night he went to bed and had a dream. He saw Yama standing in front of him. Yama was holding out hand towards him, saying, "Come, it's time for you to go away with me." Arun was terrified. "But Lord, you had promised you would tell me the days in advance before I would die. How can I come away right now?" A small smile appeared on Yama's lips. "But child, I did give you a warning. I made your hair turn white. I made your back stoop with age. I made your teeth fall out one by one. These were all indication that your time on earth is coming to an end. But these things happen to every man and woman. How could this be warning only for me?" Yama nodded. "Yes, they do happen to everyone. And when they do, men and women should start getting ready to meet me. Life has to come to an end. There is no escape." Arun was now understood. He looked back on his days and realized that even without meaning to, he had been preparing for this. His children looked after his business. All his work was done. There was nothing stopping him from going away with his old friend Yama. He climbed on the buffalo behind Yama. "Let's go," he said, and off Yama went away with him. Now, this is the end of the story. Do you like it? Then comment it. Subscribe my channel. Bye bye.